rules are, in my hand, you can see I have a perfect, wonderful die. And we have a list of options, and kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, I'm going to roll it, and whatever number it lands on, that's what we're going to be creating. The first thing we're going to figure out is the species. All right, here we go. 3. A wizard? No, that was my least favorite one.
You should have said nothing.
Needs to have a beard.
Okay, a beard.
So it's a
The Vikings. They were randy little buttholes.
You know, when you're gifted, it's a shame to waste it.
Look at this.
Look at this.
Where is it?
I actually build men.
Custom orders, ladies. You want a man built? Maria can. Ooh. Oh.
Actually did.
That's so cool.
Why, forgotten man?
Why?
Why?
Yeah, I'm tired of my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know.
Welcome in, everybody. It's time to get the art party started. I am your host, Dreaming Tabitha, the artist here on YouTube, and I'm super excited about tonight, as I always am about art party, but this one is gonna push us to the limits, I do believe, and we've got a slew of new people and some OGs in the house tonight, and I just want to say welcome into everybody. I see you all. Mo, Kyle Saber, Holocron, Library Fox, and everybody else, Real Steven TV, Dr. Rachel, all of you wonderful people, Tommy Doyle, and I see those over on Kick. We are live on Twix and on Kick as well, and I'm super excited to bring things along. So without further ado, I've got some thoughts on the folks that we have for the show tonight.
Let me make this as monosyllabic as possible. I don't much care for this crew you hired. They're... how did I describe them? I don't know. I said something rather good this morning before coffee.
A ludicrous parcel of drivelling galoots, ma'am.
There you go. Poetry.
That's right. Poetry. It's what I think about the crew tonight. That's not true. I happened to see Treasure Planet for the first time a couple months ago, and I just love that scene because Emma Thompson? Yeah, Emma Thompson is just magnificent. But anyway, welcome in. We've got Mo Zamboni. Did I mute everybody? I'm trying to unmute you guys. Like, did I accidentally mute everybody? Like,
You did.
Oh,
You did.
Sorry.
That's
sorry.
okay.
I'm new here. But we've got Mo Zamboni, Maria, Dr. Rachel, and Sevi. Did I accidentally mute her too? I can't tell. I don't know.
No, I just muted myself.
Okay. I was like, oh crap, I'm messing this up. But we are going to do the introductions here in just a little bit. If you guys caught the intro, we are going to be doing our prompts tonight, and then we're going to go around the table and get to know our fellow artists. So yeah, that's right. Maria, get the fingertips right. Let's do some stretches because it's going to be great tonight. A couple of months ago, we talked about dreams. Today, we're going to be talking about or trying to draw nightmares. Dun, dun, dun. Cue the nasty music. I have my die ready to go. All right, I'm going to get my pencil at the ready. And so the setting, this is going to be, the idea is of what, I guess, scares you the most. And I already told, our folks that they don't have to make it too personal, but we love it if you would. But anyway, I want to get you better, knowing better. But anyway, the first one is the setting. We have either a cave, a house, a forest, underwater, or a highway. So we're going to roll the die. I really don't want highway. I don't do cars. I don't do that. Not like I'm scared of them. It's just hard to draw. So here we go. Oh, by the way, Mo, since you're new here, if it lands on a 6, you get the honor of picking whichever setting.
Except highway.
All right, yeah.
Highway. That's right.
No whammy. Oh,
We get a house. Okay, a house. A house.
Right.
Okay.
The setting is that it must take place in or around. There must be a house. That house
Somewhere.
is the setting. Somewhere.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Pretty straightforward. Maria, you know the drill. If it lands on a 6, you get to choose. The item to include must be either hands, great,
Ooh.
insects, a car, teeth, or snake. Here we go. 3, a car.
Car.
After you said you were horrible with cars.
I know. Now the thing
A
is,
house and a car.
these prompts were created by the most common nightmares, by the way, that people have. All right,
Oh, really?
colors.
Hmm.
So, Sevi, you get to choose the color
Oh.
if there gets to be a color included. So, if it lands on a 6.
Okay.
A sad girl.
No, it's
What
5.
is
So
that?
sad girl beige.
Sad girl beige.
What is sad girl beige?
Yeah, is that even a color?
You guys haven't heard about sad girl beige on like Instagram?
No.
It's like this weird new trend that's been around for maybe a year or two where women in particular, well, usually because they're the ones that are like decorating, they decorate everything in beige, and it's kind of sad. So it just became known as sad girl beige. They even do their nurseries for their children in beige. Like it's lackluster. There's no
Wow.
color. So it's just known as sad girl. It's just basically beige, but I
Wow.
decided to be
And then
funny.
they complain for the new generations that they're having like mental issues.
We won't go there, but yes, sad girl beige. So far, this nightmare sucks, but I guess that's the point. And then, sorry guys, there's only left is the bonus feature. It either must include a carrot or a die or a pair of dice. So odds are even. We have to include a
Dice.
die or
Or
dice.
dice.
So somehow this has to be something that you fear the
The
most
worst
has
nightmare.
to include all of these. One of your worst nightmares, including a house, a car, sad girl beige. If you can get to color, I'll open it up. If there's and dice. Now, new to the channel. Okay, nobody's ever heard of this being done on Dreaming Tabitha's art parties before. Is that we are going to allow for the one veto. So if there is a setting or an item to include that we all voted, I'll just let the guests decided that they would like to change, we will go with majority rules. So would anybody like to change the setting from a house to something else? Show of hands, anybody want to change a setting?
I'm
No.
good.
Okay. Anybody want to
I like the setting.
change the item to include?
A car.
Yeah, I don't like a car.
Okay,
I'm
so
down
Yeah.
to change that.
I agree. It's like
Mhm.
but we're at a tie. So Mo and Sevi, would you like to keep the car, or would you like to change it to something else?
I would much rather change the beige color.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll get to that one. Get that
That's
one out.
fair.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
all
fair,
right,
that's
all
fair,
right.
that's
We'll
fair.
do it. Okay, well, I
Okay.
tell you what, we'll roll and change. We'll make everybody happy in that case, if that's all right. We'll do, since it's a crossway tie for two different things, we can change the setting,
and we can change the color.
and then we can change the color. So here we
Okay.
go. It would be 6. So that would be that Mo gets to change
Oh.
the setting.
Oh no,
Mo
the
gets
setting.
to
No.
You mean the
choose
item.
The
setting.
setting's
You mean
fine.
the item.
The item.
Is it the?
Oh, wait.
It's the item.
the
Yeah.
item,
Yeah, the
It's
item
the
is
item.
the
Yeah,
car.
it's the item.
Well, I'm saying because if we went in order, Mo is next.
No.
But we,
But we're not changing the setting.
not
we're changing
changing
the
the
yeah,
item.
Yeah,
we
we're
agreed the
changing-
house was gonna stay. It was.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. We're
Yeah.
keeping. Sorry. All right. All right.
Yes.
Well, seeing how I'm a guy, and I know how most girls hate insects, I'm gonna say it. We're gonna change it to insects.
Okay. So
Oh, it's so creepy.
I have
Nice.
no issues with that, but that's okay.
okay.
Oh.
And then for the color, I will then roll again,
Okay.
and it's 6.
It's weighted dice.
So Maria, I believe it is. You
Ooh.
get to choose the color. Go ahead and choose
Oh,
our
oh my-
color. No
oh
sad
my-
girl beige.
No sad girl beige. I don't know. I mean, it's like the Jeopardy thing, you know? Give me, I don't know, emerald green for 500.
All right, it's emerald green. We're
All
doing
right.
green.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's
that's
great.
good.
Yes.
Okay, got that
Does
out
that
of the
mean
way.
does that mean that we can like use different kinds of shades of green, or is it just
Yeah,
emerald
I
green?
just write down emerald green because it sounds prettier than just be like green. I like emerald green, so we went
Okay,
with green.
we-
So,
okay.
guys, those who are just popping in for the art party for our nightmares, somehow we must include a house with insects, green, the color green, and we must include dice
Somewhere.
somewhere. The setting is the house, so we will have to figure all of that out. Now, while our artists are busy turning the wheels and getting the gray cells, just pulsating to figure out how we're going to create our
Burning.
nightmare, I'm
Burning.
going to go to the comment section here and just be like, welcome into Retro Collective, The Real Steven TV, Tommy Doyle, Deranged Lunatic, Holocron Library, Fox, Terra Crystal, I see you also over there on Kick. We have Joey Floors saying, Hail Sevi. And then we've got Kaio Saber. We've got Bruce. What is up? Cajun Corey says, cancel Mo. Well, that's not very nice.
That's actually one of the nicest things he said in a while. So it's okay.
Oh, wow.
Stunning and brave Megatron in the chat as well. And then let's see, and kind of going down, we got a lot of conversations happening. Tabitha's crazy Nationals views frighten me. Well, somebody's got to be scared. I got to catch up on my nutrition. I'll be lurking. Love you. Okay. A car's woman's nightmare. I don't know about that. Those dice are rigged against Tabitha. Sad girl beige. What sad beige girls need boyfriends? Do they need them? Who knows? The Forgotten Man, what is up? And he says, Ayo. Hi, Tabitha and the rest of the panel. I see Moss over there on Kick and Warlock as well as Retro Collective. Good to see you guys. Let me shift this around. We will be getting to know our panel here in just a second, but I wanted to pop in and say hi to everybody and glad that you are here. Terra Crystal says the scariest things are heights. Bees used to terrify me. Yeah. And that's the thing. Whatever you fear the most, you can include into the artwork. Some of the things that I fear the most would be the fear of falling, adults crawling on the ground, like hands reaching out from underneath the bed. I have a healthy fear of Maria. That really freaks me out. I have a healthy fear of the Nazgul, and it's kind of the dark things. The dark. I have a healthy fear of sharks. What is it? Thalassophobia. That is a healthy fear that I have. Maria's like, what's that? Do you know what? Do you know what thalassophobia is?
No.
Yeah, it is a
Please.
fear of things in the ocean.
Oh.
Thalassophobia. It's a real word. Look it up.
Interesting.
It's a word.
So you've never been on a cruise?
Wow.
I
okay.
have never been on a cruise, but I would go on a cruise. I have a fear of what it's kind of like. It's the same thing as the darkness. It's not so much that I fear the darkness. It's not so much that I fear the ocean. I fear what lurks within. The unknown. I will say I have definitely a healthy, well, maybe an unhealthy fear of the unknown, which is why I have to trust Jesus every day because life is scurry. Cajun Corey says, I have a fear of heights and yet I've skydived before. Would that be skydoving? Doved? You skydoved?
I said
He's
he's Cajun, so he doesn't understand the English very well.
That just means jumping off a log, right?
Yes.
For the Southern folk, yeah, skydiving. You should have Savvy on sometime. She needs help with calming down, and you're the girl that can do it. Maybe I will reach out to her. I know she's it. But anyway, so we have, I don't know if everybody's gotten started and has an idea of what they're creating, but we're just going to go around the table. And we've got some newcomers like Mo Zamboni, who has been in the chat before. Tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are. What do you do on the internet? And maybe if you feel comfortable with it, what are some of your fears?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I was turned on to you by 1-800-DANKY because I had talked with him before. And I watched the stream, and it's a macabre kind of like Schadenfreude to watch people draw and sweat profusely while they do it.
Yeah.
So now I'm in the barrel, and I've looked forward to this for a while. So I am officially a Legion of Memer member, which no green
Nice.
rocks. If you're out there, I'm glad you're doing better. He's been having health problems, but he's doing better now. Oh wow, that's a heck of a setup there, Maria.
Oh, thank you.
She's fancy.
So, but I also was one of the co-founders of the GCA. You probably heard him on Super Chats. You probably heard us like trying to hawk our wares and everything. Well, we recently got monetized.
Nice.
We only
Congrats.
started in late March, and I've been worked with 8 other people. Successfully, we've had our fights, but we've done well, and it's been really fun. Yeah, it's crazy for that many moving parts. It's been really fun, and I love everybody on the team that I broadcast with. I'm an old man. Sorry, stream with. It's been really fun. Yeah, so yeah, broadcasting. Yeah, I'm on the ham radio.
V-vlogging.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing now. We're just V-vlogging.
Oh right. Yeah, no, but it's great. And I've been drawing. There's pictures of me falling asleep when I was 4 years old, drawing on my pillow.
Aww.
And hence this guy right here. I always have one near me. The original.
Oh, yeah.
This one launched 1 billion careers, but other than that, I hate bees with every ounce of my being. I'm afraid to death of them.
Oh, really?
I'm afraid of heights, but only the ones where I will still survive it. If once I'm flying, I'm off the ground, I'm not afraid of it anymore. It just doesn't bother me. But I used to have to get on 20-foot ladders that were on the side of a deck, and it was had 3 inches of contact. Whoa. And I remember climbing up them. So yeah, and I've fallen through a ceiling before in one of my old jobs. I have a reason to be afraid of heights. They're not fun.
So you have like trauma. Like, is it not an irrational fear? You have a respectful fear because of something that has happened to you.
It started out as a fear, but then I realized what the deal was, and then yep. So yes. It was a fear that became reality, which is the ultimate nightmare, honestly. So
yes,
true, crazy.
But Forgotten Man was right. It's not afraid of heights. It's just the stopping is not fun at all. So
I'm in a way the opposite. Like I said earlier, I realized a couple of years ago that it's not just like the fear of heights, because I can look out on heights. It's I get panic attacks when I look down on heights. And the thing about heights that scares me the most is not the landing. It is that weird feeling when you're falling. That is what scares me the most. I don't know why. I'm like, sometimes I'll look down. I mean, you guys ever have the intrusive thoughts and you're like, I could survive that. If you're like in a high place, you're just kind of curious, like, I think I could survive, but it's the falling that makes me terrified. It's not landing in the bush or possibly impaling my abdomen on a branch. It's like, I could survive that. I just don't like the idea of falling.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know why that weird feeling freaks me out. I don't know how to describe it, but where it feels like your stomach suddenly is in your throat, like that.
Ooh, like one of those rides on, I don't know, in like Six Flags or something, in which
roller coasters in general.
Not roller coasters, but like the pirate ships that they just leave you hanging.
Oh yeah, or that's why I never go on the drop towers. Like,
drop towers also.
Either I'm going upside down, or we ain't doing it at all. I ain't just going to the top part and then just falling. Like, we're not doing that. But Maria, tell everybody else a little bit about yourself. What it is you do on the internet, and maybe if you're comfortable with it, some of your fears.
Oh well, a lot of my fears I think I've talked about it, because I did the stream. I did not do the stream per se. I did the drawing. You guys did dreams, and I did nightmares.
Yes, Maria has had done this before. Sorry, I'm rotating things around because I need to turn my camera off and on again. But Maria has done this one before.
Yes.
But hers was a slightly different prompt, which was really cool.
Yeah. So my fear is zombies. I cannot do zombies for the life of me. Yeah. They literally give me nightmares.
Same.
One good example was a great show. It started off as a great show, was what's it called? The Last of Us, right? So everybody was like ecstatic about The Last of Us, and it was so cool, a very good story. So I started watching it, and I stopped on episode 2 because I was having nightmares already. So
yeah.
So I am a holistic artist. That's how I describe myself now. Because I do everything under the sun. So I'm a performing artist. I'm a storyteller. I do presentations of stories.
I miss those stories, by the way.
It's true. I haven't done a story in a long time. And this year they did call me up for a presentation, but my day job interfered with the presentation. So.
Work is always in the way of art.
I know.
We should just cancel work altogether.
Yeah,
Who's with
I
me?
agree. Yep. 100%.
Absolutely.
So, and now I've been doing that for more than 10 years now as a performing artist. And I also do drawings, oil paints. I'm very much a watercolorist. That's my preferred medium, and ink. So
you do amazing watercolor and ink. I kind of hate her a little bit. With the love of the Lord. With the love of the Lord, of course. I only ever hate people with the love of the Lord.
So, and I do have my YouTube channel. I'm at 296 subscribers.
Yes, she is.
So I'm 4 away from 300, which is a turning point because I have been in 200 for almost like 4 years.
Yeah, come on, guys. The link is in the description box down below. On Thursdays, Maria has art and chat. And I was on there this past week as well with Stunning and Brave Megatron. And we always have a good time. We talked a lot about America. Yes, we did this past one.
I just let her talk.
Yeah, well,
basically.
as you should. I'm American. I have rights. No, if you guys don't know, Maria's Canadian.
No.
What do you mean? Oh no.
Oh, Maria.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet now. I'm gonna concentrate.
No, Maria is probably the best Canadian out there because she's pro-America. So
a lot of them are
American.
I'm not American. I got on her nerves so bad on
my own stream.
I know. That's what we do. We're colonizers. We take over, man.
We conquer. We're conquerors, not colonizers. That's right. Get with it.
Oh, Maria. Well, next then we have Sevi, who is new here. Tell us, madam, a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Sevi. My favorite color is blue and pink.
What's your sign?
I am a Scorpio.
Oh, hey.
My birthday is on October 30th, the day before Halloween.
That makes so much sense. That now it all coming together, it all makes sense. No wonder everybody finds problems.
You will be surprised when I tell you what I'm actually afraid of. I'm not afraid of many things.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people are afraid of many different things. I'm not, but you will be really surprised when I tell you what I'm afraid of.
Okay.
Because I'm sure if you guys follow Moonskull and if you follow all the stories and all the creepy stories I tell, I think you'll be surprised. I'm afraid of dead people. Like dead people. So like for example, like if I'm going close to a cemetery, I have to pray to myself because I start to freak out and I need to like calm down a little bit. But like when I was a kid, I would never go to a cemetery at all. If my parents went to a cemetery because somebody had died, I would cry if they were still wearing the same clothes because I have this overwhelming fear that the dead people are going to get attached to somebody that goes to say a funeral or anything like that, and then they're going to possess me. So I am really afraid of people who are recently dead. So that to me, like, I think like what point, like I saw hers and like my hands just started sweating. It probably was empty. It was probably empty, but in my head, it was not. In my head, that person that just died is going to come out of their grave and come after me. Sorry,
the vengeful dead. Yes.
Yeah. My cat is on top of one of my laptops here.
So you don't, how do you fare at funerals, or do you just not go?
I just don't go.
I hear you.
I just
you're so lucky.
I'm too.
I was afraid of dead people.
I'm too afraid of it. And like, I was able to kind of like, be brave enough to go to that cemetery when we went to MegaCon because we did
I
a
was
live
gonna
stream.
say.
Yeah, because we did a live stream on that, and
So that was
I
just
prayed-
nervous laughter. You laughing wasn't really like having a good time. It was like, guys,
It's like I'm gonna die.
leave.
No, I did so much praying. I did so much centering to make sure that like I felt like I was protected going into the cemetery. And also I figured I'm going with a huge amount of people. So if somebody gets like axed and possessed, it's not gonna be me, it's gonna be Herudai
in front of you. Get it now.
which might be the reason why I'm like so interested in people's like experiences with the paranormal, but I'm really, really afraid of it.
That is fascinating because usually I will say that things that scare me, I don't necessarily. I mean, I guess it depends on what it is. Like even with snakes, I'm very afraid of snakes, but I have done research about snakes because knowledge is power, and so the more you know about your enemy, the better prepared you can be. I guess is the idea. So do you think that maybe has something to do with it? Like if you know more about the paranormal or the experiences of other, you can be prepared going into uncomfortable circumstances.
I think so. Plus, I think there's something too about exposure. So, I mean, there is a real thing called exposure therapy as well to kind of help with your phobia. Because, like, when I was a kid, it was like a blown out phobia. Like, my parents would have to throw away their clothes into the dumpster, like, far away before they came home. Otherwise, I would be crying and I would be like, I would be inconsolable. So, definitely not the same way it is right now. I mean, I have a story I feel really bad about, but like I had an ex boyfriend whose father died, and I refused to go to the funeral. They were really, really sick, and I had him like throw away, like buy clothes specifically for the funeral so he could throw them away before he came near me.
Honey, we're going to the Goodwill. Let's go.
I felt really bad, but I was like just crying and like I just had a really bad panic attack.
Oh my. That is so interesting though.
So definitely I would say better, but still very much afraid of, like, if you're telling me like a place is haunted and things like that, I'm not gonna be as scared as if it was like a dead person in front of me, because that would be
okay.
Do you have any idea
of what triggered this kind of fear? Because I think that's something that I find fascinating, because I do like the psychological aspect of humans, where it's like, why are we the way that we are? I to this day cannot figure out what exactly it is about adults specific, because kids crawl on the floor all the time. It's something about adults doing things that are out of the normal for adults and crawling on the ground, and people, honestly, I could see you and know you, and I could love you, and if you're crawling on the floor and your hands come for my feet, I panic, and I have no idea where that comes from. I'm still trying to figure out what has induced this ridiculous fear.
Well, I'm sure I have an idea. I mean, I grew up very Catholic, and when the Day of the Dead came around on November 1st, which of course was the day after my birthday, the idea was that, that is a day where the dead can become more powerful and, touch the world of the living more. Because it is the Day of the Dead.
Day? Is that the eve of
St. George's Day? No, that's All Saints
November
Day.
1st. Yeah, All Saints Day.
Okay. All Saints Day.
Yeah. So at least that's the way that I was raised, to kind of think about it, just coming from like a Latino culture on that. Okay. And my mom would tell stories how on the Day of the Dead on November 1st, like things, because she lived in a haunted house, things would get worse on that day.
Oh my gosh.
And then she would have to get her rosary out, like her family and her parents would need to get their rosary out. Her dad would need to sage the house, And I think like that's where like the fear started to come and to seep in, was the idea that like the dead are coming after you.
Okay. I can see that. That's speaking of logical, makes sense. Logic. There's a lot of logic to that. I can see that, certain things that might be celebrated or whatever, as a child, you're not really understanding what's happening, could really affect you, and your mind, is very imaginative. So it's
Yeah,
like,
and that's how I took it. That's how my brain as a kid interpreted the Day of the Dead, was the dead are coming to grab you, right?
Yeah.
So I just figured like, because like I've been exposed to so many ghost stories and things like that, I know like the ghosts, they can't really harm you. They're just kind of there, or they might not even know they're there.
right.
But for like, the way I figured in my brain was, they just died. They probably don't want to be dead. You're just sitting there like an idiot. You're just coming. See, exactly. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Oh my. Oh my. That is so I find that very fascinating. I'm sure we'll talk more about other things too. Dr. Rachel, what about you? Do you have any? Dr. Rachel strikes me as the kind of person who's like, I just don't like sad girl beige. Nothing really bothers me but sad girl beige.
I agree with that. Sad girl beige is a nightmare in and of itself, and I don't want anything.
Very true.
That's just the kind of person that Dr. Rachel strikes me as. She's like, not much bothers me. I just don't like random colors, like.
Is beige a color? Really?
In terms of nightmares, I mean, I feel weird saying that I don't really have much that scares me.
See, I knew it. I knew it. Didn't I call it? I knew it.
So to be fair, I grew up in a very like Halloween centric family, and like they do a haunted house every year.
Oh, that's so fun.
My parents just like posted a bunch of pictures of the one they did this year, and I always hate missing out on it, but they informed me that they got the typical about 350 people through on Halloween night. So it's a big neighborhood attraction, and I've been helping out with it since I was like 6 years old. So I've always been like really into that, but also it kind of like made me realize, there's not a whole lot to fear unless you let it scare you. And so there's not a whole lot of things. There are plenty of things that creep me out a little bit, but I can kind of take a step back and just be like, hey, you know what? This isn't worth me being scared about. I'll just, squish it with a shoe or something. But
maybe I'll need to get like therapy lessons with Rachel. Like, can you teach me not to be irrationally afraid? Because to this day, there was this movie that came out. Maybe you guys know it. It was with Sean Connery. It was Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Oh, geez. Yeah, it's one of the first movies I ever saw.
Okay.
Heard of
Old
it, but
movie.
I've not seen it.
Okay, it's a cute movie. I'm sure if I watched it now, I'd be fine. But I was very sensitive to scary things as a child. Still am, but definitely as a child, like it didn't take much for me to be freaked out. I don't know why God made me that way or what happened, but that's just it. Okay, when I was little, talk about weird phobias. When I was very little, and my mom doesn't even know where this comes from. We've tried to figure it out, but for many years, up until I was about 9 or 10 years old, I was afraid of going bald. And actually, and bald women terrified me. Like it was one of those things that an actual fear, a real phobia, irrational, have no idea where it would come from. I would wake up in the middle of the night crying that my hair was falling out. My mom would come and she'd be like, I swear, she's like 4 o'clock in the morning. You're as healthy as a horse. Go back to sleep. She literally said that. But that was one of my fears. But Darby O'Gill and the Little People, it had to do with fairies and things like that. But there was also a banshee in it. Now you go back and you look at the quality of the graphics today, and you're like, okay, Tabitha. But back in the day, right? And so there was this banshee that came out of the darkness or whatever at a castle and screeching and howling, and it freaked me out. And so there are still, as an adult, I have to convince myself that the dark corners of my room or whatever like that, there's nothing There's nothing there.
Well, it was the movie Witches, if you guys remember it.
Oh,
Yep.
oh,
Yeah.
The movie
Oh,
Witches.
yeah.
So I tried to see it like a few years back because it was like a 30th anniversary. I think it was in, I don't know, 2020 or something. And
Mhm.
as an adult, it freaked me out.
Was that where they came through the window?
I don't know, but the first scene was just crazy. So the first scene, big spoiler alert, is it's one of the
Spoilers.
witches. Yeah, one of the witches. She puts a spell on a little girl, and she makes her go into the picture, like the oil
Yeah.
painting in
Ah.
her house.
yeah.
Mm.
And the parents are desperately looking for the little girl, and the witch is just like laughing. And you see how the parents are searching like days and months, and you see the
Aw.
picture of the little girl coming up, and it's every day that the figure changes, and you see it growing up, and feeding the ducks, all still life, right? It's like
Oh
until
my.
finally it's an old lady in the
Aw.
picture, and then
Stuck in
she
the picture.
disappeared, and yeah, she's stuck in the picture. And I was like, that's freaking scary. It's
That
like
is
that
very
is
scary.
as an adult, I was like freaked out. Like
Dr. Rachel's like, please, it's not real.
it may be not real, but it definitely got to my imagination. You're talking to a person who got scared with Ernest Scared Stupid.
Okay, yeah, that one got me too. Like I said,
That one's pretty creepy though. Yeah.
I just
yeah.
don't
haven't seen
do
that.
this. I
Oh,
don't do the
man.
scary things. I don't. It's hard. Now I will say, like, there's a certain fascination. I cannot draw spiders, guys. I am struggling on the bus today.
I'm
But
struggling with this. This is so bad. I'm sorry.
I'm happy with my house. I'm not happy with my spider. But Dr. Rachel, any other things that you're not afraid of?
Thanks.
Actually, not snakes because so story time.
Story time.
My I have way too many stories, but my dad's work friend used to breed snakes.
Oh.
And there was one time he was in the process of moving, and he actually asked my dad to hang on to one of his snakes. A 13-foot Burmese python named Monty.
Oh,
And
Monty.
So,
Monty Python. Nice.
have to name him Monty.
Yeah.
But we held on to him for I think 2.5 years.
Oh.
And we started that when I was, I think, 7. So I just grew up with thinking snakes were cool. And in terms of spiders, my brother and I would just play with Daddy Longlegs in the yard. So none of that really freaked us out. The only thing that ever just like really always gave me the creeps and still does to this day is if you've ever seen the movie Alien or Aliens, face huggers.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. I don't do
They're
this.
so
I don't need
creepy.
it. No, stop there.
Ugh.
No.
The noises they make and the noises they make. Ugh.
No.
No,
Big
I
no-no for me.
get
Thanks, no.
freaked out, very uncomfortable to the highest degree when there's stuff that happens. Number one, I don't do intrusive things to the body.
Ugh.
Yep.
And then I don't do things to the face because that's usually what happens. I remember one time, again, I told you, sensitive child. My mom watched an old movie called The Trouble with Angels, and it basically had to do with these two girls, these teenagers that were just troublesome. So they got sent to a nunnery to get straightened out, right? And in one of the scenes, they wanted to give one of the nuns a facial, or no, one of the other girls in the nunnery a facial. Well, they promised her it was a mud mask, but in fact, it was like clay or cement or something like that.
Cement. Oh,
and
gosh.
so then the next scene is where the nuns are trying to chisel her face out and everything like that. And that freaks me out. I can't do that kind of stuff. It's not even like scary. It's just like uncomfortable and awful. I can't handle it. That's like, I've never liked the Three Stooges because of the fact that there was an episode as a child. There was one episode where they were doing, they were at a barber shop or a beauty salon, and they encased a woman's head in like cement. Maria's laughing, but they encased this woman's head in like cement and stuff like that because, again, they thought it was like a mud mask. And I remember that. I mean, I was probably like 4 or 5 when I saw that, and I have never forgotten it. And since then, I've never been fond of the Three Stooges.
That's
a
fair.
shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame. As a
Can't do
man,
it.
I'm offended by that statement.
Well, it's
If you
not
don't
so-
like Curly or at least Shemp, come on now.
I just couldn't. It traumatized me.
I do have a question. Can
Yeah.
we use other colors other than green, or does everything?
Yeah,
have to be
yeah. No,
green?
basically you just have to incorporate.
You have to
that color.
incorporate green. Okay.
Incorporate it somewhere.
We're good. We're good. I think. Oh, I can see all you guys. Well, I'll show you guys what I'm doing so far.
Oh, I
Since
think
got
I've made.
Put up,
Oh,
put
whoa!
up.
Let's
There's
have an
my-
update.
That's my dead person there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
This
And
looks
that's
like
my
a scene
bug.
straight out of Demonologist.
Which is a great game, by the way.
Oh,
is.
it's
It's
sure,
super fun.
sure. Let's see what
Tabitha loves
is.
it.
I
your favorite game?
I hid behind my Pikachu the entire time. Let's see, Maria, what are you working on? Looks like that's a nice looking house. I would live there. That's cool.
Oh, no.
Oh, that looks really good.
Oh my
I like
God.
it.
And then Mo, if you don't mind, I'm gonna zoom in
Yeah,
on
well, I'm
yours
going
here.
inside the house, and this is probably creep everybody else on the panel. And if you're not creeped out, I don't know what to tell you. But
Okay.
uh,
Oh.
reaching into a drawer, not checking, and
Oh!
Oh, yes, surprise, yes. Oh, that's awful.
That is a nightmare.
I
my
lived in
God.
Florida for a year, and ugh,
Yeah. Oh, I
That
haven't
happened
had
more
that
times than
problem
I
yet.
got a scary story this time. At my office, they asked me to clean out the fridge last Friday.
Oh no! Oh no!
And you guys,
Oh, gross.
you
Oh,
guys
here it
know that
comes.
song
Gross,
from
gross,
Al
gross.
Yankovic, "Living in the Fridge." You
No,
remember
I
that
haven't
song?
heard that
yes,
one.
it was off the.
No, I don't.
It was
Living
off
on
the.
the-
It was off the Amish Paradise album, wasn't it?
Yes, and it
I
was
do know
a
Elvis
spoof.
Presley.
It was a spoof for Living on the. Well, this one was the embodiment of living in the fridge. I have never seen such
no.
nasty things, and it probably food from like months ago.
Mhm.
And it
Yeah, I believe it.
it was like gross. Now I don't get grossed out, but this was just nasty.
Uh,
All the
yeah. So we moved recently, and I had the same problem. I had a mini fridge, not mini fridge, but like one of those half-size fridges in our garage.
uh-huh.
And yeah, so we were supposed to clean it out. Apparently, there was a miscommunication between my wife and I. I opened it up a month later, and one of the things that was in there, we had bones for like chicken broth and stuff. Yeah, no, it wasn't out. So I opened it, and it smelled like a morgue.
No.
Not that I know what it
was-
smells like, but yeah, it was disgusting.
It was
gross.
so
Oh,
gross.
Yeah, that's a
was-
nightmare right there. That smell.
That was a nightmare. No, everybody, like I said, I don't get grossed out, but this was just vile.
Let's see what Dr. Rachel's got going on here too.
Okay,
Oh my.
I'm doing like the house is like a haunted beehive,
Ooh.
and then there's just gonna be like a giant bee.
no,
on top of
no,
it.
no.
I mean,
no,
I guess
no.
technically. Mo's like, I'm out, guys.
I'm out.
Like, no, get that off the screen.
I mean, technically, we didn't say it had to be a house that belonged to a human.
That's
Mhm.
true.
That's true. That's all. That is a lot of what the art parties are about, is getting out of the comfort. Number one, getting out of the comfort zone, and then
This is definitely
secondly,
uncomfortable.
engaging
Yes.
the creativity. I'm checking out what some folks are saying. I saw a comment earlier that I really loved. Oh, and John Thomas asked, "What are we drawing?" We have to draw the setting. We have to do nightmares. The setting is a house with insects. We have to include the color green and somehow include dice into that. And where is it? I loved what somebody said. Dude McMahon said Jesus died for the Canadians too.
Yes.
Contrary to popular belief,
Yes!
he did. I put my shoe on one time and a gardener snake was in it. Yeah, I don't do snakes.
Oh,
no.
that's scary.
How about-
I don't do them.
Oh, good. How about something that people should be scared of and you're not? Because I
Clowns?
got one.
Oh,
Clowns, yeah. Clowns are all right.
I don't like
I don't-
clowns.
They're creepy.
They
They,
scared me as a
No,
child.
I like.
if you think
clowns.
about
They're
it,
so
they look
cute.
weird and they're lying to you.
They're lying
just
to you.
annoying.
Oh, my
Because
dad
they're
used
pretending to be
to.
somebody they're not.
No, my dad would hire clowns for our birthday parties. It was great.
No, thank you.
Well, okay. There was a guy. There was a clown. He was Happy the Hobo. It was the local station in northern Indiana, and he was awesome. And he was just the coolest dude. And we got to go on the show, and he would interview kids that were in line, and he was the coolest. So he was a cool clown. But but I also had some family that were in the Shriner Circus. Yeah, those clowns are some creeps.
The Shriner Circus.
Yes.
What
the
is
best
that?
circus. You haven't heard of the Shriners? They
I mean, I've heard of the Shriners, but I didn't know they had their own circus.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing in the Midwest. So Shriner Circus, they have it to raise money for children and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, no, there's some nightmare fuel there for sure.
It sounds like it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well,
since I brought it up, mine is I am not afraid of spiders at all. They can crawl on me. I don't care.
I mean, I can kill them. I can take care of them if I have to, because you can't. I tell young women all the time, like, look, if you're sitting around waiting for a man, you're gonna be miserable. Like, you got to take care of stuff yourself. There's not always gonna be a guy around. And the worst thing that you can do as a female is see a bug in a room, particularly if it's your bedroom. Leave said room to go find a man, whether it's your husband, your brother, or your father, to tell them that there's a bug in your room. Because you know what happens when you come back, it's gone.
And you don't know where it is.
You got to burn
and
down
it
the
will
house.
end up on your face later while you're sleeping. So no, you better kill that now or scream for your father, but keep an eye out on that bug. Like, don't let your eyes leave that bug.
Oh, I take it out. The other day, a friend of mine found a spider in her house, and she's like, "Can you come?" No, I was in her house. Like, "Can you take it out?" And I'm like, "Why am I going to kill it?" So I gently took it out. Like, why am I?
Yeah. Okay. So
why am I going to kill spider? It eats insects. It works for me for free.
That's helpful.
Okay, so it depends. If it's like a less, if it's like a black widow or
Black widow, I kill it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I treat spiders like bouncers. You can hang out outside the club all you want, but if you come up to the bar and start having drinks, you're fired.
Yeah.
Like you no longer have that excuse.
Yeah.
I will I will agree with that. Like, the thing is, like, if the spider is in the house, then I will kill it. If it's outside, it's like, look, I'm in your territory. Let's just respect each other's boundaries. Like, I do understand the purpose of the spiders.
So I have to clarify, because I don't think I grossed people out enough. I've worked around black widows a lot.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, so I would do home theater installation in the Southeast, and I'd be under houses, and they'd be like literally 6 inches from my head. I'd be in crawl spaces that were 1.5 feet tall, so I'd have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So you either got used to it, or
you kill it.
No.
That those I would kill, because I know that it's like it could have like
it's either you or me, and it's definitely going to be me.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
they never. Go ahead.
No, literally, it's you or me. It's like those things are deadly.
Yeah.
So,
but maybe they're just misunderstood.
I think they are.
No.
They're grieving. They just lost a spouse for the 17th time.
Yeah, they ate it.
Yeah, I was gonna say thank you. It's an insect. They ate it. Yeah.
They're grieving. What can you do? By the way, welcome in to the new people over there on Kick. I see Gothy13 says gloomy evening. I'm all about the nightmares. My partner is crazy about spiders. They're great. They eat all the bugs. What? I hope that your partner is a cat. And I see Smooth DJ over there. Hey, Smooth.
Hey, Smooth.
I was in the process of making a thanks for the follow, Gothy13. I was in the process of making a spider around my house when I realized spiders are not insects. They're arachnids.
They're arachnids. It's true.
So now I'm upset because my spider was looking super duper cute, but now I have to go with something else. And I'm not accustomed to drawing bugs, so this is hard. But we're going to make it work. Well, so has anybody ever tried to overcome a fear. Now, Mo already was talking about how he's like, hey, I got to feed myself. I got to pay taxes. So I'm going to just do the work. But has anybody ever tried to overcome a fear and get it out of the way and just be a girl boss? I don't know.
Well, I'll have to skip this one. But
okay. All right. Well, it's 2024. You don't have to. It's okay.
You can be a girl boss if you want.
All inclusive here on Dreaming Tabitha. But I will say that I have gotten better about flying. Now, I've been, as a military brat, and my dad being in the Air Force, we flew a lot as kids. And I don't remember being afraid of flying when I was a child. It was only that, growing and all of a sudden learning that, you could die if you fell, and then feeling the weird sensation. I've never been a fan of, turbulence. I don't know that most people are, but I will say that I used to be a lot more terrified of like the taking off process, because there's a little bit of a lurch when you do that. Like you can feel when the plane is no longer touching the ground, and the worst part was coming down. Sometimes those pilots really take a nice little dive there, and you're not ready for it. My favorite part is when the stewardesses decide to serve you like water right before, or soda right before you're going to land or something like that, or they don't come check on you rather. And it's like, hey, I have this drink. My tray table needs to go up. I don't want to hold it the whole time. Isn't this a safety hazard? You're panicking a little bit. But I will say these last couple of times that I've been flying, I put myself in a different mindset. Typically, I would listen to some, what I like to think is aggressive music, but if you listen to my friend Nomi, she thinks it's just pansy stuff.
Hey.
But I try, but I'll listen to me some Skillet, some Barlow Girl. She's like, oh, that's just for babies. Like, well, you know what? Then I'll take it. But basically stuff that will distract my brain from focusing on, the issue at hand. But I'm pretty proud of me. I mean, actually, one of my fears too is like when things don't go according to plan and I don't know how to have a backup plan. And I know that's kind of vague. Exactly, History Eraser, but Nomi's on a different scale. Gothy says, only thing I'm afraid of are women I actually want to talk to. The others are no problem.
Okay, so I can agree with that. I have been married for almost 20 years.
Congrats, snaps.
Yes, but I was always deathly afraid to show like affection, because I'd always go out with girls and they would just be not what just not good. But
stinking hose.
Yeah. Yes. I'm not going to repeat the line from Snoop Dogg, but hoes and tricks. Yes. So I was afraid to show my affection and stuff like that. So I got a Build-A-Bear for my wife, and I was like, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do it. And I was just like, I gave it to her, and she loved it. She still has it to this day. But
of course.
yeah, just like those are fears that are unduly just because of the dating pool. People think this is like a new thing. The dating pool's been shit for like.
It's always been hard.
I'm pushing in my mid 40s, and it sucks. It sucked then, and it's even worse now. But sorry, present company not included. I'm sure you guys are wonderful. But
we try.
But yeah, no, it was just like. So it was that's like a fear that was just like, you get like punched in the face, you start to flinch. That's that kind of fear. It's not a fear that I originally had, but it was a fear that was instilled upon me. But both fears, any fears, should be overcome if you can do it.
Fear of rejection is heavy, man.
Oh, fear of rejection? Yeah.
I don't know if it was that. It was like, it's like you start rethinking if you're going down the right track. It's not rejection. It's like it's thinking about something that is right, but the people that are I don't know, but yeah, that's a big thing for a lot of people. Is it's like it's like hold to your principles, do what you do, don't let people change you because you think you need to change. Be you. But like not in current day woke, like be you.
No, like genuinely be yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, don't make up who you think you are. Don't listen to
Mhm.
other people telling you who you are or what what is scientifically impossible, but rather, if you are like they really take it out of context. It's like if you're a person who loves cat posters, a ridiculous amount of cat posters, then you be you. Like just in the privacy of your own home, just be really excited about cats all the time. Um no offense, Debbie. But
I love
no,
cats, Debbie.
no,
I love
I just
cats.
no, like I'm saying, like people
Justice
that
for
they like
cats.
to collect Funko Pops to maybe what some other people would say is I'll give you an example. My brother, I like them now too, but growing up, my brother really liked graphic tees. That obviously
Oh
that
my
had the images on them of the games that he liked or funny phrases. And I remember hearing some girls, they would, we were younger at the time, so you're not the most intelligent and everything. But there was one girl was like, basically saying that he needed, like, if he wanted to get a girl, he needed to lose the graphic tees. And
Did
my there you go. See, and I'm wearing a Goonies shirt right now. So
Oh yeah, the Goonies.
so,
Yes.
but it's like be you. Don't like what he's like Mo was saying. Don't change just because this particular girl doesn't like guys wearing graphic tees. Because my
Exactly.
brother is happily married now, and his wife loves that. Like she doesn't care. It's fine. She wants him to be happy, and he wears his silly, which you might say is his silly shirts and stuff like that. So that is being you. Being you doesn't mean that you need to, swap genders. Like that's not
in
how it
a
works.
nutshell. In a nutshell.
That's not how it works. But yeah, for sure. I can say I do, like I said before, I also have that fear of heights and a fear of falling. I have thought about skydiving, but I'm just gonna make that a word. But by the way, Know Me Without You says Sevi, can you tell Tabitha that Japanese people can understand Spanish?
Yes, Japanese people can understand Spanish.
How is that even possible? They're not the same language.
Because the pronunciation is the same. So as long as you have like basic understanding, like you don't need to be super good at it. But I mean, like that's why it makes it so much easier to do that. Because the pronunciation is the same, so you don't have to think very hard about it. So like if you speak to me in Japanese, I know exactly how to write it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Because it's the same as Spanish, right? So and Spanish is not a very complicated language.
No, it's not.
It's really not. Like if you understand Spanish, you can understand Portuguese, you can understand Italian. You can understand French. Because those are all Roman Romance languages, right? And Japanese, as long as you understand the Japanese structure.
Okay, I can get on board with that. I understand that completely because I've heard that said the same thing. Yeah, if you speak German, you can pick up French. If you speak French, you can pick up Spanish because the grammar structure is similar and a lot of the words have the same meaning, if a slight different pronunciation. Right. But what Nomi was just either straight out was just like, well, Japanese people can understand Spanish. It's like, well, that's not how it works. Like you said, Sevi, if you have a basic understanding, then of course.
Because how Japanese works is they have and they identify. So as long as you know the identifiers, like wa, wo, right? Then you know what the object of the sentence is. And as long as you can, follow along, then everything makes sense. And then they have des and then desu ka. So it's just really, really, really simple. Japanese is a very simple language.
It is.
It's really based on you say what the object of the sentence is once, and then everything else just flows from that because you don't have to repeat it over and over again. You don't need that subject to be continuously brought up because it's already implied. And Spanish does something similar to that too. So again, like the structure is the same, and the fact that it's said the same way that you would speak in Spanish makes everything so much easier.
Well, I get that. We were streaming once, and Nomi said that, and I think it was late at night too. So you can't, when you're streaming and it's late, you can't really. It's hard to be civil. But we were like, Nomi just she just randomly blurted that. Like, did you know this? If you speak how did she word it? If you speak Spanish, you can understand Japanese, or if you speak Japanese, you can understand Spanish. And Smoo and I are like, that's not how languages work. And plus, the fact that they are very different in the fact that, like you said, one is like more of like a Latin based language, and the other one is not even close. But that makes more sense. All right,
like for example,
I'll give it to you.
As long as we're writing in hiragana and I can read it, right? I don't know
what you're saying, but
calligraphy very well. So if you put something in calligraphy, I have no idea what you're saying, right? But it's just easier to pick up.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think, again, like when you're streaming, like sometimes it's hard to even the most simple thing. I'm not saying this was Nomi's problem, but like when you're streaming late at night, sometimes even the simplest explanation is difficult. It's like words are hard after midnight.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I would have to disagree on Nomi's behalf because she was
Oh.
awesome on Wednesday. She was a treat to have on the stream.
Of course she was.
Oh, she's awesome. She is such.
Don't tell her I said it, but yeah, she is.
Yeah. Yep. She got me talking about Whataburger and Hatch chilies again, and now I've been craving it all week.
Don't get her started about HEB. You'll be there for days.
That's true. Yeah, but she was awesome. Sorry. So there you go. I know I had to interject there, but she was a really fun thing.
No, Nomi is. She's, as she likes to say, a real woman. It was so funny. If you guys follow over on Kick, which by the way, let me get to some of the comments that were over there on Kick that I didn't get to. Sevi, you can't even do an Italian accent. That's way more related to Spanish than Japanese, says Warlock.
Accents are hard.
I love Sevi's accent just as it is. I've said this before. Is one of the most unique accents I've ever heard. It's this Colombian, Wisconsin accent.
Oh, Colombian.
It's like
really?
so unique, and I love the way she talks. I've never heard that before.
Mi comida favorita is arepa.
I love arepa. Oh my God. And ajiaco. So that's what I have for Thanksgiving usually in my family. Sorry guys, like we don't do normal turkey day.
Can I invite myself, please?
Yes. Oh my God, I love ajiaco. And my dad did a test ajiaco run like a couple days ago. I brought so much soup back home. I'm so excited. Ajiaco is a potato soup. So if you guys, basically how he does is you grab the potatoes, you kind of smash them up a little bit, and then you have potatoes that you cut on. So it's a potato-based soup. And then you cook the potato soup, and then you add stuff to it. So you can, obviously if you guys like chicken, you can add chicken to it to add more to the flavor. You can use either a veggie broth or chicken broth, whatever you guys want. Well, not fish. So actually, not whatever you guys want. Either chicken or
lies. Oh, lies.
And then you add a bunch of vegetables in there, and then you separate them. And then when it comes to serving, you have the base potato soup, and then you can put stuff in the soup. So I usually put rice and avocado, and then we have sour cream that we add to it to add to the flavor. It makes it really, really good, just a little bit. And you can add waskas to it, corn. It's really good. It's a meal just by itself, which is so good. Pretty good. Particularly during the winter.
So my good friend, his wife is Colombian immigrant.
Oh my God! So you've had ajiaco. Have you had ajiaco?
I am pretty sure I have, but she would usually make arepa, and then she'd have tostones.
Yeah.
Which are
nice. That sounds
they're really good. They're really good.
Yeah, but we would have something wrapped in grape leaf or something like that. It was
okay.
She might have made. Oh my goodness.
Tamales. That sounds like tamales.
I think it was, but it was like so good.
Because tamales are wrapped in grape leaf.
Warlock says, Tabitha, you need to watch Call of Cthulhu stream where Sevi tries to speak with an Italian accent since she plays as a mobster. It's very entertaining. I've been with Sevi on the streams, and You know what? I didn't hear Sevi do an Italian accent.
I gave
but
up a long time ago.
But I really enjoyed Moss's like French accents that suddenly were like Russian or
I know.
you know. It was so fun. Oh my goodness. Some people were saying that Sevi, you know, you have a very good grasp on linguistics. And
Thank you.
then
I love languages.
yeah, same. I love how there are so many similarities, and then you have the ones that like totally throw you off where it's like, yeah, like Russian. Where did that come from?
That is.
You know, the backwards space.
I think French was invented by drunk people. There's no reason there
I
needs to be
took
that
French in
many
college.
C's
Whew.
in a language. Why is there so many C's? There's 5 C's. There's no reason for that.
It's not even the C's that trip me up. It's the silent X's.
Yeah. It's hard. French is the pronunciation of French is hard. I have not spoken French in a while, but I did have to work on a French document. I think like maybe like 3 months ago, and I was like, "Thank you, Mom, for forcing me to take French when I was a kid."
For real, you know, I voluntarily took it in college, and then I was definitely like the one that tried to get A's on everything. Was definitely a teacher's pet. I never in any of my classes did I ever settle for anything less than an A if I could help it. I was so happy to receive my C in French. Like it's like that was the only time where I'm like, it passes, it passes.
I'll take it.
I feel like
take
most of us have languages or just subjects like that. We're just like, you know, I really want to be an A student, but you know what?
I'll take
this
it.
subject sucks,
Yeah.
and I'll just take, you know, like the C and move
I'll
on.
take
with
what
my
I
life.
can get.
It reminds me of I did this chemistry class in college. It was like first semester, so you know when you're in college, you just don't fucking care. Like when you're first year at least, like freshman year, freshman fall year, you don't give a shit. Afterwards, you're like, oh crap, what did I do? That was me in college. So I was taking this chemistry class, and all the stuff that they were teaching was stuff I already knew, so I never paid attention. It was so bad. I did the final for chemistry class, fell asleep during the final. Yes. And the teacher, I remember one time talking to the teacher, like way after the fact, and he's like, he was like, he didn't know if he should wake me up.
Oh my goodness.
I know. And I did end up waking up. I finished the exam in 10 minutes because I already knew all that stuff that they were like doing it.
That's
so
terrible,
it was
though. What a waste of time.
I ended up getting like a C or like a C plus in that class.
Nice.
Because I just never cared at all about that class, and I felt so bad after the fact.
Sebi, are you one of those annoying people who, like, for example, me, I could study all week and hope to get a B, whereas you could study the night before and you get an A? You strike me as one of those people.
But the reason for it is because how my brain works is that as long as it makes sense in my head, then I don't have to memorize it. So I don't really end up memorizing things. So as long as I can explain it to myself in my head, when I'm faced with an exam and the question pops up, then I just follow common sense in my head. So that ends up helping. I mean, obviously with math, you need to memorize formulas and whatnot, but math is very logic based.
Until calculus 3. I took calculus 3. when they tell you there's the area under the infinite curve is finite, you're like, what? Like, I couldn't wrap my head around it, so I quit and I got into graphic design. So
yeah, same. I just quit math and just do art, and then they lie to you and tell you you'll never use this in real life, and it's like I've used math quite a bit in my artwork. Don't let the people lie to you, kids.
I'm a graphic designer. I use it every single day.
Yeah. That is accurate.
Hey, Smoo, coming over to the YouTube side. So, Sevi, I'm super curious then. If something doesn't make sense to you, how did you study for it? How did you prepare for it?
I ask people until it makes sense. So
Okay, but what if you've got a deadline?
What if I got a deadline? And then I guess in that situation, then I will have to cram.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But
Right.
I
So
just
she is one of us. Okay, all right.
I just generally prefer not to cram if at all possible.
I mean, yeah, same here. I tried to always be on top of everything, so that way I depending on the subject, but I pretty much would study, as soon as I got back from class. I would just study everything so it was fresh in the brain, and then I would do a cram session the night before. So that way it wasn't much of a cram session. It was really just going over the notes one last time so that I could be sure. But yeah, some things where, I mean, I spent 8 or 9 hours the night before my final math class crying and sweating and being angry because I just couldn't understand it. And I studied until I did understand it, or at least until I had the formulas memorized. And then I made an 100% A+, but I worked my butt off for
Yeah, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to. That is true.
I definitely was one of those unfortunate souls.
And some things just sometimes take time. It's not clear. And sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you don't know why you're confused.
This is very true. I it's interesting as like you get older, and especially I say especially, I don't know. I'm not any other type of person, but as an artist, I've noticed that to be particularly true because I was explaining this to somebody the other day. It's like when you have artists, you'll notice, especially if you're like a portrait artist or something like that, you will often come across as kind of weird because you'll be caught staring at people. And it's not because we're staring because you look funny or because we're socially awkward per se, but like as an artist, we're very observant. We're studying you because we're trying to figure out what it is about you. Like, for example, I was looking at a friend and she has this unique bridge of a nose. Like it's a little bit wider than the average person. And that was what I was studying. It's like, what makes her nose so different than everybody else's? And you have to stare at it in order to process the information. Meanwhile, it comes across as really weird because you're staring at a person, and mom always said, don't stare at people, it's rude. But it's like, but mom, I need to, because I need to understand what it is that makes it different. You have to, it's like, oh, it grooves right here. Oh, there's a shadow that's right here. There's a bump here depending on the type of nose.
Definitely. And I think that's why when I'm drawing people, I tend to imagine the bone structure first.
Of course.
Because that really determines their cheekbones, like how their face like will look if they're to the side or not to the side. But one thing I'm absolutely horrible doing is hands. I can't do.
My goodness! You're about to see how bad my hands are, but I couldn't think of anything more disgusting than reaching into a unknown area and hitting an insect.
Are you gonna make like black finger like underneath the fingernails and?
No, I don't.
Don't give him ideas.
Why not? Let's do it.
Too late.
Nope, not too late. It's never too late.
Never too late. Some dirty fingernails. That's pretty scary. I will.
Yeah. So my thing is, I'm a graphic designer, so I go really quick. I'm pretty happy with what I got here, but.
I'm doing okay. I've already got all my color. I will say that ever since we started doing these things, I don't know about you, Maria, but I have found that I'm getting, depending on what the prompt is, but I'm getting better about going quicker and just getting the important things first. Oh, Mo's got a reveal so far. Ooh, look at that perception.
I like it.
I like the cockroach or whatever beetle bug that's closest to us. That's really cool. And I like the angry face of the dude. Like he looks like the type of person that his wife is like, I told you the keys are in the drawer, and you know for sure they are not in the drawer, but you're gonna look anyway because you just want her to stop harping on you. Let me see. Let's see which Rachel's got going on. Ooh, look at the clean lines. Look at the clean line work, and look at the angry expression of this like wasp creature. I mean, Mo, don't look. No. Okay, don't look. Let's see. Maria. Oh, very nice. This is a beautiful house. Like, I love it.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. I mean, like it looks creepy. Like, but in a good way. It looks like it could belong to the Addams family or the Munster family. That's a good thing. So far, I've got on my color, I've got It's a little too happy for this to be a nightmare, but some people are scared. I was gonna go for a spider, but I think something that would terrify me is if a giant bug suddenly crawled on top of my home. So that's what I decided to go with for my nightmare.
Nice.
I was gonna do a spider until I remembered, like I said, that they were not.
They're not bugs.
Insects.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, what is the difference between a bug and an insect? Real question.
No idea. They're all creepy.
I would
there a
say a
difference?
bug could be anything that bugs you.
Oh, so you're
So it could be
saying
an
that I
ant?
could have done my spider, which would have been a real fear.
Yep.
I would say
Wow.
that's kind of, I don't know. Spiders eat bugs. That's my only.
Well, there are other bugs eat bugs. Praying
Yeah, well,
mantis eat bugs.
Praying mantis eat other praying mantises.
Exactly. Black widow.
Fair.
Well, they're spiders. Never mind. I'm trying to think of.
I can show you what I'm doing so far.
Yes,
Not
please do.
coloring.
Ooh, the shadow.
Nice.
Oh, I like the staircase. I like the
Yeah.
eyes on the bug. It looks like a very like professional portrait of a bug.
Yeah. The bug was the owner of the house, in case you guys didn't know.
Oh, there's
Oh, okay.
a story.
It was a bug man.
Cute. Ant-Man.
Sevi talking about learning something until it made sense. I was just writing about that in Discord this morning about learning game systems, says History Eraser button. Terra Crystal says
Yeah.
they're all really good. Terra Crystal also says dragonflies eat mosquitoes and bees. There you go. A
Oh,
bug
cool.
isn't really in animal kingdom. Insects have 6 legs and different body structure. Yeah,
There you go.
there's a lot of the sciencey stuff to do it. Yeah, I know, John Thomas. I tried to draw a scary bug and I ended up doing a cute one. To be fair, because chibis are my forte, I did type in like chibi insects because I figured that's what would resonate with me. Lowell says, dude, McMahon, the bug has a mortgage and a 401k. Which one?
One of the things, going back to like learning that I've noticed in my life is that people themselves put a barrier in their own mind when they say that they can't learn something.
This is
I
true.
totally agree with that.
There. Yeah.
So
Agreed.
I'll bring that back to actually doing art and stuff. I as a trade, and I'm trying my darndest to be a YouTuber. It's pretty fun, but I'm a graphic designer. Like literally, I've been doing it for many years.
Thank
I
you
have
for your service.
I have a degree in general studies. I have the most worthless degree ever. Don't-
General studies. It says it right there. Just in
Yes.
general.
Just in general. Yeah, I was just trying to get, because that was the time. Now it's not so much, but we're talking about over 10 years ago. Having a degree, a bachelor's degree, mattered. It shouldn't have, but it did. So I was like, all right, let me just get this paper. It's the fastest one I can get. And it got me the job. But I haven't really been fired from a job. I don't think. I might not have.
So you remember?
Sometimes you have clients, it just doesn't work out. It's just how it is. It's the nature of the game.
Yeah.
So, but don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything. If you feel like you can do it, and you have some talent, you can grow that and become successful. So
I
if
agree.
you don't think you can learn something, that's bullcrap. And if you
Oh,
have
for
people in
sure.
your life like that, you need to tell them afuera with that bullshit. So yes.
I love
That
it.
is
But
true.
it's
Which is
true.
one of the things why it makes me so sad that people say, "Oh, you can't do this because you're female." There's a couple of things that yes, physically we can do, right?
Right.
100%.
Yes.
Fair
We're
enough.
not going to be as strong as guys. Let's just face it. That's not how women were meant to be. But like a lot of girls are told you can't do math because you're a girl, or you can't do
What?
science because
Oh,
you're
no.
a girl. Yeah, and I mean, like, and that's something that I heard a lot too, like growing up myself. Like I was told, like, no, like a lawyer is a guy's job. It's not a girl's job.
Right.
Why would you want to be a lawyer? Like, no, that's
Well, that's a good question. Why would you want to be a lawyer?
Because it
Well-
pays well.
Well, I did it. Well, I mean, like thinking back on it, I just did it because I was really pissed off at my school and the fact that they kept telling me that I couldn't do things.
Aha. She stuck it to the
and-
man.
And they would just make the assumption that like I couldn't do it because it was again like like a man job,
Okay.
and you know, they were more like, well, girls should just go do something else, just like do like that's not the. But it's like also like, why would it's not your life, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's for sure. You know, it's funny. Like when you think of like in the olden days, a lot of the different gender roles in the jobs, like, you know, it was that the women stay home and, you know, they clean the house, they cook the food, they take care of the children. But it's so ironic that when women wanted to expand their horizons, and like, for
Yeah.
example, when it came to becoming a chef, that was a
Yeah.
man's job.
That was a man's job.
It's just kind of ironic how it's like, okay, well, the woman's supposed to stay home and cook and clean, but she's not capable like of doing that in the workforce. And it's like, well, I mean, I know it takes education, and it was, of course, back in the day, education was definitely geared more towards males because they were in the workforce, and if you had a better education, you could have a better job. Why would, you know, why logically then why would a woman need more education because she was simply at home? Obviously times have changed, but I always thought that was kind of funny.
And what's interesting too was like, you know, thinking about like the time where my mom grew up, you know, she kept her last name before it was like the cool thing to do. You know,
Nice.
she didn't change her name to my dad's name. And one of the things that she always told me was, you know, going back to a pace more, was you can't depend on a guy to provide to you. You need to make your own career. You need to stand on your own 2 feet.
It would just
Way to
in
go,
case.
Mom.
Yeah, I
Mom.
mean, because again, times have changed.
And she was
you know.
she was a stay-at-home mom. I forgot to say that. She was a stay-at-home mom.
Mhm.
But she was the one who basically said, you don't want to get stuck. You know, because like she said, like, what if I didn't like your dad? What if your dad was abusive? I wouldn't be able to walk away.
My
Wow,
dad
that's
my dad never gave that particular scenario, but he did say like if your spouse would die or something like that.
Oh
Yeah,
no, my mom had really a lot of deep conversations that probably she shouldn't have with a kid when it came to that, you know. But like but again, like that's the reality when you thought about it. And like when she grew up, physical abuse was normal, you know, and it was not frowned upon. Like if you wanted to hit your kids or if you wanted to hit your wife, it was pretty normal.
The rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me feel comfortable being the only man on stream.
I was gonna point that out. It's so funny because Maria
but-
and I always like to point out the fact that whenever
Yeah.
we're streaming, we're typically
true.
always outnumbered by the guys, and so I
Yeah.
just happened to look up this. This is the second time that's happened. We had Project Eggroll on here and at one point, and Phil was the only guy with like 4 other.
Yesterday we outnumbered the guys as well on my stream. So, yeah.
In my field, there's not a lot of white men.
Really?
Oh, graphic design. It's not like no.
Really?
I've never worked with another person that ever. Like it's mainly dominated, especially in financial marketing, which is what I did for the longest time. Now it's like so woke. I can't work in it anymore. But
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. No, I don't believe me. If I had the money to throw a lawsuit at somebody, oh boy. Yeah. That's kind of how I felt.
The other thing.
Oh yeah, I'd let him do it for free, just but make him hurt. But yeah, no, it's you know, but that's pretty normal. But yeah, no, as far as going back to what you were saying, that's how I am with my wife. Is a very headstrong person. She's very smart, very strong. She's a nurse. She's awesome. Obviously, she's made some mistakes in her life. She's married to me, so so she has it. She's not 100%, but I will say this: one thing that, as far as being a husband, you don't. If heaven forbid something happens to me, if I get hit by a bus or something, I don't want my wife to not have.
Yeah.
Like you learn stuff from your spouse.
Mhm.
If you've ever seen Rocky 6 or what they call Rocky Balboa, they subtly point this out where you kind of absorb the best parts of your spouse when you're married.
Yeah.
I'm hoping my wife has done that. I mean, obviously, she's become way more of a smart ass being married to me, but I've learned how to cook from her. I cook all the time. I was a stay-at-home parent. Because I could work. I could do graphic design from home.
Nice.
So I was changing the diapers all the time and everything like that. So but it's like we just kind of roll with the punches. We do what we need to do, and
Yeah.
but you don't as a husband, you don't want to be like the ultimate protector all the time. You want her to be strong enough to defend herself should the time come. You want her to have the ability, and that's the best thing about being married is you build off each other and you become better. The men become softer and the women become more tough.
Complement each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to make each other better, and
I
that's
have
how we
to-
treated it. But I think she's gotten a little too tough.
Wow.
I think she can whoop my ass now, but
Well, I can't speak for her, but some women secretly hide, and like they'd be like, well, we'll just let him think that he's better
On
than
top of
us.
things.
oh no, totally. I totally understand who I outkicked my coverage. All right, I know I got lucky. So
Oh, that's sweet though. I have to point out what Holocron Library Fox says. If Zool the Destroyer ever comes to Earth, please let Tabitha choose the monster we have to face. Because this is my nightmare.
Oh, that is cute. That is
It's
very,
the
very
cutest
cute.
nightmare. Oh my gosh. Cajun Corey says I could never be a lawyer. I'm not a public speaker. Well, okay. So going back, we're pulling a Jen Psaki and circling back to fears. And I would say that definitely was awkward, socially awkward, and had the fear of speaking in front of people and performing or anything like that. And definitely the fear of doing artwork in front of people because, judgment is very real fear. And but I will say that Cajun Corey says I could never be a lawyer because I'm not a public speaker. That's the whole thing again, what Sevi was saying. Like don't even tell yourself that there's something that you could never do, because if you work hard, you can. I learned that with my math class. I am not gifted with numbers. I have dyscalculia. It's hard. I don't retain numerical information very easily or at all. And I have to have things explained to me over and over again, sometimes the simplest things, because my brain just has a hard time retaining numbers. But I proved to myself, because that was a great fear of mine. I always thought that I was less than, and I always thought that I was just downright stupid. Not stupid in the sense where we're like, oh, I was acting silly or, immature. No, I legitimately thought that I was just had a lack of intelligence, that I was just plain old stupid compared to a lot of other people because I couldn't do numbers like others. And everybody prioritizes in school. You got to know history, science, and math. Well, science and math go hand in hand. So I was good at history, and I dropped out of school. I dropped out of high school, and then I was so ashamed and embarrassed of the fact that I thought I was stupid that I took to heart the phrase that says you can't judge a book by its cover. So I read all the time, and I stuck to the classics. Anything that had old form of phrasing, old literature, and that had better vocabulary than what we have these days. And so therefore I increased my vocabulary, and people never knew that I didn't graduate college. Then they didn't know that I didn't graduate high school at that time because I was, dare I say, I sounded so intelligent, right? And knowledge is power, the way they says it. But I was still, for me, it was like a demon that haunted me, and I was afraid that people would find out. So at the age of 27, I went back to college and finished the class and for my math class, so that I could get my little diploma, my my high school diploma, one of the proudest little pieces of paper that I have. That's it. Basically, it doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but it proved to me. And the fact that I got an A+ 100%, didn't even need a calculator on my test, just proved to me that if I'm willing to endure the struggle, I can overcome. And the same with public speaking. I used to be very, very scared, and sometimes I still am, about streaming, because you're always afraid that something's going to go wrong. You're going to sound silly, maybe say something that you shouldn't have, or your artwork's going to suck. But
I wish I had that fear. Holy crap! If people clip the hell out of me, but
well, maybe that just comes with discernment. I don't know.
Good on you for having it. Yeah.
But I always people have probably, if they've been around long enough, they've heard me tell my story where I'm a friendly person because I know what it feels like to be bullied and I know what it feels like to be the outcast of the group. And so usually I find those people and I lift them up because I know what that feels like. And my pastor at a church that I used to go to in North Carolina, he saw that quality in me and asked if I wanted to be on the greeting team for the church. And I was like, me? No, of course not. That means I have to talk to strangers. I have to talk to people. I don't have to talk to people. Like, what are you talking about? But I said yes to it. He's very persuasive because he's so encouraging. And I'll be forever grateful that he took the time to nurture the gift, I guess, or the diamond in the rough, or however you want to say it, the thing that he saw, the quality that he saw in me that I didn't even see in myself. And I wanted to be a better person, but I was too scared. So I kind of needed someone to nudge me in the right direction for a good reason too. And it definitely helped me. And I basically learned how to use my awkwardness because I am pretty socially awkward, but I've matured that I've learned how to make my awkwardness into a fun function in conversation. I typically, like at church, I will greet people in a very random way that nobody expects, and it makes people laugh. So suddenly it's like, oh, we're laughing, we're having a moment together. And then if they would come to church the next time, I'd be like, hey, you remember that really awkward moment that we shared the last time you were here? And suddenly we've recreated a memory with a stranger that makes them happy, makes them laugh, they feel more comfortable. So I've just kind of learned how to do that. But if I didn't get out of my comfort zone, and I don't want to say I would embraced my fear, that's I don't think that's the right terminology for that at all. I just kind of, I'm reading a book right now called Do It Afraid, and that has been life-changing for me as well. There are a lot of things in life that I forego from doing because I'm afraid of what the outcome might be, or I'm afraid that I won't succeed. So I never do it, which is total irony because if you never do it, you will always not succeed.
Yeah.
You have to try it. And so, learning that doing it afraid, it means you're still doing it. Doesn't mean that, just because you need to do something and you're afraid doesn't make the fear go away, but you learn that you can just keep going in the fear. I was always afraid of failing the math class I was afraid that I was going to be the failure of the whole class. I was going to be put in front. Everybody's going to point at me. I'm going to wear the dunce hat, every worst case scenario that would never happen. And, but you every now and then it's worth putting yourself out there and, good things happen.
That's true. And there's many lawyers who don't do public speaking.
I was going to say probably not all of them, are doing the Johnny Depp trials and
no,
stuff
there's
like
a lot of them do not do that. So you'll find a lot of people that hate the public speaking out part of it, or that are huge introverts.
My one of my good friends who actually who actually made my LLC. She Amy, if you're out there, love you. She's a research lawyer. She loves doing the research. I don't think she likes being in front of people unless she's had a belt, unless she's at a party, she'll be funny, but I think she's pretty shy otherwise. So
there's also policy, like lawyers for policy. I have a friend who works for the government and she does policy. That's her thing. But she's a lawyer.
Yeah, no, she's a lawyer. She totally went through the entire thing, got the 4 years, which is amazing. Because we saw her go through it, and it was pretty crazy. But yeah, she doesn't get in front of people. She loves doing research. That's her thing. So
yeah.
Some people have a way of just like becoming somebody else at work away from people that they know too, or if it's almost like if they put on a suit and tie, suddenly they feel more powerful, or sunglasses. Or I always talk about, I have somebody in my life that super shy, very awkward, very friendly, but very awkward, not comfortable necessarily in their own skin. But man, you put them in a costume and they just take off. They're like so confident. They don't care. I've shared this before, like going to the Renaissance Fair. I love the Renaissance Fair, but I'm not the type of person, like I like to dress up, but I'm totally different than this person. This person puts on a costume and they suddenly like become the king of the world. And my fear when I wear a costume is that everybody's going to look at me versus this other person's like putting on a costume and they want everybody to look at them. And it's like, no, I try to be low key in my costumes because I don't want people looking at.
And that's the thing, like, as far as like, I used to be incredibly shy and I had a lot of friends in college that kind of got me out of my shell, but it's hard to kind of shirk back into yourself when you're a big dude. Like, I'm over 6 feet tall,
true.
and I know there's people from my chat are going to be in here, so I always bring up height, but I'm a tall guy. I have a low voice, so like if I sneeze or if I talk loud, it like gets people.
Everything you do is big.
Yeah, so I try to disarm people because there's people that, like, if I come around a corner at a grocery store and there's some woman that's like 5'3" and she's not expecting me, I scare the shit out of people.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it happens. I had baby cousins. They're like 20 something years younger than me. And I'd be like, hey, how you guys doing? They start crying, but it's just like that was a thing that I didn't know when I was younger, like in my late 20s and stuff like that. I'd get pulled into the office. I'm like, you're scaring your coworkers. I'm like,
oh,
like, because
really?
I would get intense and I wouldn't get mean. I wouldn't yell at people, but they would be like,
you get like passionate and they took it wrong, or?
Well, yeah, if a person gets passionate and they're like almost a foot taller than you, I guess it would be scary, but I'm like, I want to do a good job. Yeah. Yes, I am Smooth the DJ. I try to be. I would.
Gentle giant.
Yes. I have been in fights, but it's been a very long time.
He says I met Mo in person and he scared the crap.
Because I could speak perfect English and you can't.
Oh,
it's an inside joke. He speaks Cajun. He speaks that freaky deaky swamp person language.
That's ghetto. You're supposed to be professional people here.
Yeah, no lies detected and no apologies given.
There you go. Oh my goodness, did you finish your art piece, Mo?
I did. I have to work quick. I don't have an attention span that allows me to go into detail. I usually scan and fill in later on a computer, but
interesting.
Yeah, so I'm done, and I like it. I don't care because it reminds me of I don't know if everybody remember Plimp Tunes. It was colored pencil drawings that were like animated. This is probably for people that are you guys are pretty young, but Plimp Tunes, you've probably seen them. They were, anyways.
Have a look. There we go. Okay.
Okay, that's cool.
Honestly, when I saw the die, at first I thought it was green cheese, like Swiss cheese.
It's whatever you want it to be.
All right, it's open for interpretation. It's whatever you want it to be. I'm just kind of adding. Well, so when you do your artwork, you said you do graphic design. So, like, if you wouldn't mind sharing with the class, like, what are some tips that you would give? A lot of times, I have people in the chat who would like to get started with artwork, but they're just kind of they're lost in the woods. They don't know where to get started with. Of course, we all would tell them just start drawing, and you'll learn from there. But what's some fundamentals that you could share with the class about getting started with drawing or art in general? What's some advice that you would give to some people?
Well, I would say this. It's like with anything else, it's the same advice you give with streaming, which is if you don't enjoy it, don't do it. If you enjoy it, do it. Like, I started from a very young age. My mom, it was a classically trained artist. She can paint paintings and stuff like that. I actually have her easel, but she was so she understood how fun that was, and she got me hooked on it for two reasons. A, it's fun. B, it's very inexpensive for a pencil and paper. So we didn't have much money growing up. So that was why she got me. But I would say do it because you love it, but also let your passion take you where you want to, and don't let people tell you what medium you should use. I have made art in some of the weirdest mediums you could possibly imagine. Just do whatever you love. All right. I made a film festival poster in PowerPoint.
What?
Because, yeah. And I can go grab it. I can share it with you. But but it was so odd looking and geometric that I made it in that. And I was so used to using it because I was in financial marketing, which is like a mainstay of that. But I would say just do wherever your passion takes you. And yeah, you might fill in the more professional spots. Like I've learned how to use Illustrator, Photoshop, AI, like all those things kind of fill in. But if you're passionate, like some of my favorite artists use some of the weirdest mediums ever. Like HR Giger is one of my favorite artists ever. And he used airbrush through metal grates, and like he used like just whatever you think gets your idea across, use it. And people, you will have fans, you will get good at it. And if you want to do it as a profession, you'll learn the rest of the tools. If you can do it with some of the weirdest medium ever, you'll catch on to Illustrator and Photoshop. And by the way, there are tons of tutorials out there for free that you can fill in the gaps with. But just do what you love and hit it, and you will get a ton of fans. Like right here over my shoulder, this is my good friend. I've known him for 27 years. He made this for me. It's made of old newspapers, and he did a Shepherd Fairy style 3-layer stencil. He made it for me because after my dad passed away, he kind of did his own thing. So it says his way, my way. It's about Frank Sinatra. I did it my way.
I did it my way.
My friend did this in his own style, and it didn't catch on for a while. Now he's just selling art all the time. So
Oh gosh.
yeah, he's awesome. Murgy Art on Instagram. Sorry, plug, but
You're awesome.
and he had so many doubts. He talked to me because I was in graphic design. He knew I made a career out of it. He's like, I don't know, man. I'm like, dude, your stuff is amazing. Like, you just got to get it out there. So don't doubt yourself. And if you doubt yourself, like, just keep pushing. So
yeah, it's good. I mean, I tell like people, like, or even for myself, it's like when I doubt myself, it's not the time to quit, it's the time to learn. If you doubt yourself, usually it's like I try to analyze, like, what is it about my artwork that I'm doubting? What is the problem that I'm facing that causes this issue? And it's like, well, let's just say, well, I'm not good at shading. Okay, well then learn. There's nothing that you can't learn. With that's the thing, the beauty of the internet. Why I always talk about how we should have YouTube University certificates. I would say we're probably all semi-graduates because we're always learning from YouTube University, and you can learn. A lot of it is practice and hard work, and I'm sorry, just no matter how good technology gets, it will never outdo hard work. Even if you're doing something on computer, it requires hours of practice. And so that's just the thing too. But definitely, you can learn. And definitely I tell people as well that, they'll tell me, well, Tabitha, I can't draw. And it's like, well, maybe you're just not using the right medium. Maybe you don't want to use pencils. Have you tried markers? Have you tried crayons? Sometimes people just look at crayons and they're like, well, they're for kids. No, heck no, man. There's some people that do professional crayon drawings. It's like, maybe you don't enjoy painting, but you would enjoy sculpting. Maybe you're more of a hands-on, nitty-gritty kind of person. For sure. There are so many different mediums that it's like, if you have an interest in art, that typically if you don't have an interest in art, you don't do artwork. Like, nothing that you do will be like, I've had people, I used to teach at a shop, and a lot of times it would be the ladies that would bring their boyfriends or their husbands in, and the men did it because their, girlfriend or whatever brought them in, but like they could copy what it was that I instructed them, but they didn't care if they ever touched paintbrush again. If that's the case, then your artwork's probably not for you. But if you like touch it and you just don't like what you're doing, you just wish that you could do better, then it probably means that either you just need to practice a little more or maybe try a different medium, because there's so many to do from it. When I took photography back in college, there was this one lady who adapted it to her own style. She would take photos, and then she would print out 2 versions of these photos. And then one would be monochromatic and the other would be in full color. And she would take the time to cut slivers of the pieces, weave them together so that they would line up, and basically recreate the image with 2 pictures woven together. Crazy, lots of hard work. And I would never want to do it because that does not sound like fun. But she loved it. She loved the challenge, and it was really, really astonishing and very cool take on photography. No, thank you, ma'am. but she found what worked for her, and that's the beauty about art. There's all, I mean, some people do like gum sculpting. Not my thing either. It's kind of gross.
Ugh.
But you could do it. Could totally do it. Oh, I forgot to color my stones. Let me do that really quickly. Here we go. There is nothing impossible to him who will try, said Alexander the Great. Carving things out of wood, whittling for sure. It's Emily Gregor. What is up? Hello, welcome in. Forgotten Man says, I'm really good at holding down chairs with my rear end. I think I'll develop that talent. A lot of people are doing that, and we're trying to encourage them not to, we're trying to encourage them to touch the grass a little more, roll around in the hay and all that stuff. So, oh my goodness. Well, how's everybody doing? I think I've done all that I can for my little beetle bug here, my adorable nightmare. Hey, some people like the creepy things, so we'll just pretend like this is like a happy nightmare for the creepers and the weirdos. We already
don't know what's going on behind the house. That's
yeah. Yeah,
it's true.
The thing is that he's already eaten everybody that's inside. Maybe I should just do like a trail of blood in the yard. Hang on. Why not? I'm going to put a nice little drips down the window. Oh, I need to put a handprint. Here we go. There we go. It's a little handprint. Some blood that's seeping out. Now we're talking. Maybe I should have put a bone or something in the yard. There we go. It's just a subtle thing. Oh, and then a little. He's grinning, so put some little blood splotches on his face. There we go. Now we've taken it to a whole other level. I like it. Let's see.
It's so cute. You have like cute dreams, cute nightmares.
Sometimes I do, but Tara Crystal says, "Well, Tabitha, I emailed you my version of the art party," which I always encourage people to draw along with us. Let me see here. Let me open that up, and we can. Let's see. Let me share that. Nice. Let me get that up here.
Sorry. I just found my that's the one thing when you do graphic design, you see all your versions that you have.
So there would be the house, the person, there's the bug. That is an angry looking bug. By the way, that's probably Mo's nightmare because that's like 3 times the size of a human. I would be terrified because we all know about the murder hornets. So
my question is, why is the dice angry?
Why was the dice angry?
Did you see the dice?
Because it's a nightmare. Everything should be aggressive.
Nightmares are not logical, remember?
It's true. Yeah. It's true. Now I'm gonna check in on Dr. Rachel's got some amazing color. Wow, that's really
my gosh, that's scary.
That is really good.
He does look.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the dice is coming or the die is coming out from the bottom of the.
All right. Okay.
The haunted house hives are just like dripping this weird green honey. And it just got caught up in the dye.
Steven TV, you need to draw along with us. I always encourage the chat to the audience to draw along with us and then post it on Twitter or Instagram and tag me. We're looking at Maria's. All right, she has got. Oh, she cheated. She has scorpions. These are arachnids.
No, they're not.
Yeah, I looked it up. They're not. They're not insects.
Okay, well.
Man, I could have had my speeder. Oh, now I'm upset. But that's a beautiful house. Where's the die? It's the doorknob.
It's the doorknob.
So good. Yeah. That house is amazing.
That looks amazing.
So
okay.
That is so cool. It makes me want to watch like a Tim Burton movie.
It definitely. I do. I love the colors.
So I wanted to go for
Star Wars dog.
So it's like. Nightmares are not supposed to be logical and they're not supposed to be pretty and they're not like I really wanted to give like an eerie vibe that it was in something. I don't know.
Nailed it. Mo, you've got something to add? What is this?
So this is the aforementioned PowerPoint.
Oh.
All this was made in PowerPoint, every single piece.
I could see that.
Wow.
So they're filming it's supposed to be filming an old kidnapping scene. If you zoom in on it, you see the people like the guy with the mustache stealing the damsel in distress, and you got the director over here with the guy. Yeah, so
Nice.
don't let people tell you what you can or cannot make.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it because it was very geometric, but don't just do what's fun, and it'll carry you the rest of the way. So that's what I gotta say
Sky's
about that.
the limit.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, you just never know how you're going to grow and expand. I used to just do like pencil drawings, and I gravitated to coloring pencils, and now I do excuse me, I don't do watercolor.
Excuse me.
I'm not putting watercolor down. I'm just saying it's not my favorite thing, Marie. Calm yourself. Canadians are so sensitive. Gosh.
Oh, God.
But
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Calm yourself. I'm now getting into marker and coloring pencil. This right now is some fan art that I'm doing for Achromatic Chronicles Blue, and I'm pretty happy with how it has come out so far. This is just the first layer of color. This is with markers. I'm going to go back in and enhance it with coloring paper here. Coloring paper. Good grief. Coloring pencils. Words are hard, and it's not after midnight yet. But,
no, it's Friday.
It must be what it is. I just finished my feature length Morrigan one, and I'm pretty happy with how the colors came out. Her eye's a little wonky. We'll fix that in Procreate, but I'm pretty happy with how far Tabitha has come. By the way, if you haven't already, be sure to get yourself a copy of the Achromatic Chronicles Blue or Green, or even better, get yourself the coloring book, because Tabitha had a hand in creating that design. She did, yes. Known for my chibis, however, I can do so much more. And so if you want to also get a t-shirt, you can also see that those were Dreaming Tabitha designs, and I am appreciative of having the opportunity to help out with that. And Tara Crystal, you're doing an awesome job by putting those out there in the chat. I will do that out here over on YouTube. Appreciate that. But yeah, absolutely. Now we are coming up to the 2-hour mark. Sometimes we don't exactly finish our projects, but that's okay. We can always finish them later. But is everybody doing okay? Is everybody sweating it out? Or
I got my insect.
Okay, good. Because I hold, you're an OG on the show.
Yes.
I hold you to a higher standard. Okay.
There it is.
That's how it works.
There it is.
Okay. Where am I looking? A centipede?
Yeah, a centipede.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I'll let it slide.
Oh boy.
Holocron Library Fox says, Tabitha, did you do the entire layout of the coloring book or just the content pieces? I designed the entire thing literally from cover to cover.
That's awesome. So I have to say this. I got my son Achromatic Chronicles Blue when I was in Dallas. Because Jay's like, hey, there's one more copy left, man. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. My son has reread it more times than any other book that he's had.
Story.
So as soon as the green came out, I got the book and the coloring book. So
I got the coloring book.
So,
well, excellent. Hope that you like it. Leave some rave reviews. Yeah, there's a lot of fun things in there. Obviously, coloring pages and mazes and puzzles and some adventure pieces, and there's also some journaling pages in there for youngsters and adults alike, just to kind of write down their thoughts. And I will say that I got the advantage of having a sneak peek of green, because I needed some of the images for creating the coloring book. And as I've been telling people, it's fantastic. I like it better, even more than blue. And there's one page where all of it's good, but there was one page that I think, especially as artists or introverts, where you're going to read it and it just hits home. Like, you just feel seen in this page. I remember, of course, Drunk 3PO wrote it, but I messaged the artist, Eric. He's been on the show before, Dreaded Dinosaur on Twitter. And I just told him, I was like, phenomenal job. I want to say it was like page 121, but I can't remember anymore. I got false information. But it was just Fortuna having a moment that we all can relate to, and it was worded so perfectly. I was just so moved by this particular page and what she was experiencing. I'm like, that was me. Sometimes that's me now, but that was so me in my early 20s and in my late teens. And it's just like I highly recommend for adults and for kids alike. You just, I don't know, there's something about life where if you don't feel alone, it's okay. Like you feel like you're gonna be okay. You're gonna make it. I was talking to somebody going through some rough patches of life at the moment, and the other day, and I was like, "You remember?" I said, "You remember that scene in Harry Potter where Luna Lovegood was telling Harry that, in a nutshell, if she were Voldemort, he who must not be named, that if she was the bad guy, she would want Harry to feel alone and unseen, because if he felt that he was all alone, then basically he was powerless. There was nothing he could do. Isolation is a powerful tool, and it's very true. And so there's just something about knowing that there's other people who struggle with things just the way that you have, either in your past or are struggling with them now. There's just something about it that's so great. So again, for youngsters especially, because as adults we should be able to work through our problems even if they're difficult, but kids don't fully understand all of those things just yet. But there's something about, like, when they're going to read this book, I don't know, maybe they're not going to feel it just yet, or maybe they've already gone through the situation. And I'm telling you what, that page like moved me. Just one page moved me. So I highly recommend Achromatic Chronicles Green. It's gonna be
very nice,
amazing.
Well, I didn't finish mine, but do you want me just to show you?
I want to see it.
I'll finish mine and then I'll post it when it's done.
Of course. All right, guys. If you don't know, our prompt was that we had to do our nightmare, a house with insects, and the color green and dice. So, Sevi, walk us through your nightmare.
Sure. So we have the dead person here, like the shadow person. We have a bug here. We have the dice floating. So it'll look better. I just kind of did markers as my base, and then I used colored pencils to add more depth to it.
Yeah.
So that's why you see the markers just kind of looking like this is just not really done. So I just basically only really finished the stairs and then part of the walls, and the rest of it is not done yet. And then this is a dead bear carcass over here.
Oh, is that? I thought it was like a bearskin rug. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like a bearskin rug, exactly. So
Perfect.
there you go. Once I get it done, I'll keep working on it. I will share it on Twitter.
I gotta ask, what are the little brown things at the end of the stairs? Are those chips of wood?
Yeah, they're not done yet. So they're basically, the wood is broken because this is an old house, because obviously the insect lived there and didn't take care of it.
What I love about yours, honestly, is the wood paneling on the wall. I think we all know somebody, like we all know an old person that has a basement that looks like that.
Yeah. Well, here it's an old insect.
He was an old insect. I was like, I think my great aunt, I mean, it looks much nicer than that. My great aunt has a basement that looks very much like that with the wood paneling. Oh my gosh. Conroy 1776, welcome in. For those, if you don't mind, we'll just go around the table and share our artwork once more, and then feel free to tell everybody where they can find you and what you're doing. Sevi, if you don't mind, since you've already shared your nightmare, can you tell everybody where to find you? By the way, all my guest links are in the description box down below.
Yep. You can usually find me at Geeks and Gamers Tabletop, or over at Moonskull, or my personal kick on Twitch, which is Sevi_LUV. If you go to my Twitter, which is Sevi Love, it's Sevi707. You can find all my stuff there, and my schedule is pinned if you're wondering, I wonder if Sevi's streaming today. Well, there you go. It's right there.
It's right there. Couldn't be any easier. And then, of course, we've got Dr. Rachel over here. Walk us through your nightmare.
Okay, so I wanted to do Mo, look away.
Don't look.
So it's a giant bee, and I want to interpret the haunted house as like a haunted beehive. Just kind of got like two of them there, and then it's dripping. I really wanted to go with the green, so instead of doing like yellow honey and stuff like that, I wanted to really make it green, the emerald green. And it's dripping onto the dice there, and the bees just like wings are torn up and everything. So
it kind of looks like it's conquering a mountain.
It kind of does,
which is even more terrifying, because that means that bug is like 17 times. No, it's actually, that would be like 47 times bigger than any kind of wasp.
Yeah, like
Don't think about it, Mo.
a bee the size of a small child, but definitely don't think about it, Mo.
Don't
Oh,
think
the
about it.
size of a small child. There's nothing. Small children in horror aren't
Yeah.
creepy at all.
No, not creepy at all. Where
You
can
know,
the people
for a
find-
doctor,
Oh.
your Hippocratic oath is kind of like a.
She's like not good kind of
Hey,
doctor.
look, I'm a psychology doctor, so
That's even
of
worse.
course-
It's even worse. She knows your
Exactly.
weaknesses and how to
That's
prey
even
on them.
worse.
Precisely.
Oh, I like it. Well, where can the people find Dr. Rachel and her nightmarish ways?
Oh, you can find me on the good old Twitters because I refuse to call it anything else.
sure.
Sauron_cosplay. Same thing goes on Instagram. Also, look at my channel, Out of Line Crafting, if you want to see more art. I promise it's better than this guy and not quite as frightening. But I just do all kinds of things. We were talking before about weird mediums and stuff. And one of my favorite things to do is paint on fake pumpkins. So I'm working on a Luigi's Mansion pumpkin at the moment. That'll hopefully be done within the next couple of weeks when I eventually have time off from life and from school.
For sure. And then Mo, what about you? If you want to walk us through your nightmare one more time and then tell the folks where you can be found.
Okay, so I'm not afraid of bugs per se, but reaching into somewhere and getting tickled by a antennae or something like that is creepy. It's the fear of the unexpected or the
unknown. Yeah. Sure.
Basically, this is called When I Lived in Florida because roaches were everywhere, no matter how you tried to get rid of them. So
I haven't seen any yet, so I'm blessed.
Yeah, I lived in Sarasota. Anyways, I'm still trying to recover from Dr. Rachel's drawing. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll be having nightmares. Do you have a business card, by the way? All right. But so
she's like, DM me.
Gotcha.
Don't
I think
worry,
I'm in a I think I'm in a reciprocal state there, Dr. Rachel. No, I'm one of the co-founders and I'm a co-host on Late and Gay with the GCA on Wednesdays. We recently got monetized. We're just a bunch of nonsensical people. We all met up at MegaCon that is now fallen off my gosh darn it. This
yeah, didn't there used to be a picture back there?
There was, and then it fell off. All right, so we'll just
there it is.
There we go. So we'll just pretend like that just stays up by itself. So I met up with people like Alec Baldwin's Finger, Malty, Naganol, like just a bunch of other people. And we decided to give streaming a try. And less than 8 months later, we got monetized because we've just been trying hit the grindstone. But it's just fun.
Yeah.
And our Discord, come to the Discord, the GCA Discord. If you don't know, you need to get involved because it's so much fun right now. Right now, there's a heavily masculine thing going on. We're waiting for Mike Tyson to beat the crap out of Jake Paul.
Oh,
So but seriously, watch Malty's videos. Most of them from Malty on our channel, the static videos. But I co-host a live stream and I do a lot of live streams and. It's just fun. The GCA is just a fun hangout, whether you watch the streams or you're in the Discord. So it's YouTube / at the GCA podcast. It completely fell off. That's awesome. But at the GCA podcast, and we're I don't know if anybody has the link in there, but if you look for us, if you look at our videos, you can find the invite to the Discord, and I highly recommend you guys get in there because it's super fun. Everything's falling over. I'm sorry.
Everything's falling apart.
Oh yes, everything's falling apart.
Trying to get into your house.
I know. I literally, it sounded like something with wings. Dr. Rachel, you've ruined me. All of my mental health has gone out the window. So thank you for having me on Dreaming Tabitha. This has been the best part. Okay, there's two best parts about drawing. A, it's cathartic. B, I haven't had one of these in a while.
The smudge.
All of
yes.
I
we
forgot.
Got it.
Oh yeah,
we got it.
I got
yeah.
one. I
love the smudge.
She's
So
doing okay today. I guess my markers dried quickly.
And I would say that would be my third thing to say about drawing. Drawing is supposed to be a cathartic thing. It's supposed to take you out. It's the ultimate escapism. You're literally trying to make your own reality, and it's so much fun.
Shizzle.
So
I agree. I agree with Mo. All right, Maria, walk us through your nightmare and tell us who you are, where you're going, and why you're Canadian.
I'm Canadian. Okay.
See, there is no good answer for that. So.
Ketchup potato
thought-
chips. Amazing or not?
I thought she was gonna say I'm Canadian by choice.
I am Canadian by choice.
Ugh.
Makes it worse. I'm just kidding.
You've been
Maria.
picking on me since yesterday.
I know. I'm kidding, Maria. No,
And
look,
it's
our
right now
neighbors
I'm
should
like
know.
my head is like so brain dead that I really can't find a comeback right now. So you guys can keep picking on me and you're gonna win. All right. So anyway, this is my nightmare.
This situation is your nightmare.
Their situation right now is my nightmare because well, it does have some centipedes in there. The dice is right there. It's the doorknob.
I love that.
And I have killed several of these in my lifetime.
Really?
Yeah, I have had there was a plague where I was living before. There was a
I was
plague.
gonna say not in Canada. Our scorpions.
No.
In Canada?
No.
Nobody told me about that.
No, I'm not sure. I don't think
Plague of the scorpions.
there was a plague of scorpions in Peru where I was living previously.
Oh wow.
And every morning, if you would have like your backpack or something that was like cozy, and you would pick it up, there would be a scorpion underneath it.
Oh no.
So you would have to be very
That's
careful.
terrifying.
Oh my word.
So it's like every morning I would like look up to see things to see if I can find, and I'd killed several of these things. So and several like coral snakes, which are poisonous. So I've learned how to kill snakes as well. I'm sorry, Dr. Rachel. These were poisonous. These were killing people.
Did you do the whole rhyme? If red touches white, you'll be all right. But if red touches yellow, you're a dead fellow.
Dead fellow. Yeah.
That's right. It's what they teach the kids in the jungle.
Yeah, and it's true.
The way I was raised was shovel to the head and the threat is dead.
So. Oh no, I found an easier way, but I don't want to offend Dr. Rachel there.
Right.
So
no, it's fine.
She's a peace-loving hippie, Dr. Rachel.
So how you kill a snake? How you kill a snake is you boil water and you pour water on it, like boiling water, and you would see how it gets to it swells up and it dies.
Oh my god!
I don't know if
I hate snakes, but that sounds awful. Like, but I mean, hey, it's him or me.
It's him or me. If that thing is, you don't make it to the hospital.
Okay.
Maria and it was in my house. So
Maria
if it was outside,
hardcore. Okay, she's more all right. Hands down, she's more American than I am. I'll just say it right there.
How was the eagle?
Cool. Yeah. But tell the folks where they can find you. What
Okay,
you're all
so
about,
yes,
Maria.
you guys can find me at the Geeky Crochet because I am the Geeky Crochet. I do geeky crochet stuff. That is my link in X, Twitter. It's also my Instagram account. Memes of Destruction. And also my YouTube channel, which is I'm doing basically live streams every Thursday at 7:30 Eastern in art and chatting, and all artists are welcome if they just want to chill out. It's an open concept stream in which you can finish something like we did yesterday, or you can start a new project, and we just chat. That's it. You do your thing, I do my thing, and we just chat with people, and it's so relaxing.
Nice.
So
yeah,
you can find me there. It's that simple.
It's that simple, yeah. It is.
Hopefully I'll get to my 300.
Go over to Maria's channel and subscribe for art and chatting, and she's nearing the 300 mark. Let's get her over the top. It's going to be glorious. And well, guys, adding to the stage really quickly was my nightmare. I just did a beetle bug that ate the people in the house and left a nice little blood trail. Don't let this happy face fool you.
It's happy. I was going to say that's a very.
It would be awful. Okay, so he's happy because he knows he has won and he is crushed. Can you imagine being stepped on by a bug this big? That is the nightmare. Is a bug bigger than your house, as we were saying earlier. So, but anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here. You guys have been amazing, and new things are going to be coming in the new year. Thank you, Real Steve, and they all look awesome. New things coming for Dreaming Tabitha in the new year. Subscribe if you're new here. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button on your way out. You can find a lot of cool things down in the description box down below. I do sell stickers of my chibis that I'm making, and I've got some new stuff coming along the way. We are close to being monetized on this channel as well. I appreciate everybody that has come along for the journey and the ride, and more art challenges are coming in the future. I'm going to be talking to several different artists about that. Got already some things going in the works, but I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you to my wonderful guests, and you guys are all amazing there in the chat. Until the next time.
If I was watching this video, I would like it. I would like the video, and I would probably subscribe because this is so thoroughly entertaining and